Hello, welcome back to Bonsai Druid. I have a elm tree that needs trimming and a grove that needs a little bit of styling and trimming. We are in the middle of June. It's about June 20th. So these trees have gotten a little bit out of control and a little bit long, and I feel like even though I want to develop a little bit thicker trunk, I still should kind of clip and grow these guys back a bit. So we'll start with this little guy right here. You can see that he's got, I kind of had wired this last year and created a bend here over the winter time, but these long whippy ends have gotten a bit out of control, so I think we're going to trim them back. Let me move this back a tad so we can see it a little better. You can see this one's like completely out of frame, it's so long. So I think we'll start with that one, which is kind of the apex right here. This branch here. And clip it back to the first two leaves. Let's see, what do I have here? This one, this one, this one. I'll take it to here for the moment. I might trim it back one more. This one here, it's still a little spindly. Let's see this right here. This one here has kind of two branches coming off of it. I'm going to leave them for the moment. This one here is really long. This will leave. But this one here is really long. Like, it's going farther than I planned off to the side this way. So I'm going to trim back. Well, this one's growing up, which isn't really what I wanted. It's growing pretty firmly up. I could twist it and get it flatter. I think what I'll do is first cut this end off. And I'm going to trim this one to this outer leaf. My scissors, I think I need to sharpen my angle pruners. I'm going to cut this back here. I like this branch here because it accents this bend right here. So when it comes out, it'll be at a bend. This one here is also technically at a bend. So I want to keep that, even though that branch is a little more dominant. But for right now, for growth purposes, I'm leaving it until I cease, until later in the season maybe. Now, I kind of have 1, 2, 3. So this one needs trimming. And much like I'm going to wire this one to come in on a horizontal plane. I'm going to do this one probably also on a horizontal plane. So I'm going to prune it down to this downward facing leaf. It faces down and outward. And then this one, these little things are pretty small, so I might have to go to this leaf here. Let's see. It's still longer than I want. Take it to here. Then as we come further up the trunk, I have this branch here. It is not on a bend. But it's thinner than this thicker one. So you can kind of see this branch here is nearly as thick as this one, but this one's skinnier. So I'm going to cut this branch back to this upward facing branch. Do this one with this, since it's a little thicker. And then this one here, I'm also going to cut back. But I'm going to do it to this one bigger leaf here, even though that isn't where I want it to end up necessarily. But these other two leaves, this one has spiked itself with a hole through it from another twig, and this leaf's pretty weak. Where's that at? Oh, over here. See, this one's got a spike hole right through it from this twig that I'm going to trim away. And this here may end up as another branch. And this here, the skinny bit, may end up as the new leader. In fact, I may take this back even further. But for right now, I'll leave it there. I can always decide to trim this last little bit off if I think it's still too thick. And now I'm just going to let this thing hopefully flush out again with a bunch more growth. I think I may take this back to this back here, to here. Because this is really extended. I don't really need that extended. I'll take it back to here until I get some more growth along this branch. I'm going to take off these little spikes of dead sticks. And this one on the top too. There's one here in this little... See it, it's right here. So that kind of cleaned that one up and made it a little more tidy. And like I said, I'm going to end up wiring this branch probably down in this direction a little more. But for right now, I'm going to leave it like this. I'm not even going to wire it today. I just wanted to get it trimmed up because the overgrowth was, I want to push more bud openings back through here of leaves. And in the future, I will probably do a little more work to clean out this trunk area here where an original chop was made. This had died back, so this side branch that kind of was going up anyway became the new trunk. It left me with kind of a nice thick trunk base here. And there's a large root growing right along here. I haven't removed it yet. I may at some point. It depends. It may grow roots from it, and I don't know. I might leave it. I'm not sure yet. I just like this little plant the way it is. It's kind of a wild thing that grew amongst the other stuff in my bonsai planting area outside. It just appeared, started growing. I didn't do anything with it at all. And then after a while, after a few years of it just living on its own and surviving in a random pot, I decided, well, this thing's obviously wanting to be a candidate for bonsai, so then I brought it in and started focusing on it more and working with it. Cuttings from this tree last year produced a small grove. Right here. These things have it's just like elms gone wild. It's really grown a lot considering it's really just in a bunch of rock. So whatever type of elm this is, it must be pretty hardy. So now I will proceed on with looking at each of these trees and making some trims on them to give this little grove a little more cohesive look, and possibly wire some of these trunks to make sure that they have an interesting shape as they kind of congregate in this little grove. So that is my next step. Okay, so we're going to go through and start with trimming down, let's say the tallest, the apex of each tree, just to bring it back into shape. Let's try this one here. So you can see that these aren't very well developed. They're still pretty small and slender, but the grove itself is going to be pretty small. So I want to kind of just get it into a place where it doesn't get out of proportion. I have a tendency to let my trees get out of proportion. Trying to lay some little dead branches. Again, I'm not being really specific. With these cuts, just trying to get some back budding. Keep them in scale with each other. So I just did this little tree right here. I just did this little guy right here. And now we're going to move on to this one right here, which just needs to be brought back. It's got some pretty big leaves, so I'm hoping that it will do well once it gets back outside and just start producing more leaves and branches. I'm going to leave the apex on this one right now. And bring it back around to this back side. Let's see. We're going to take it to here. We're going to take this one down here. And leave it... I'm going to leave it a little longer. And then there's another dead stick of a branch over here. Get rid of that. Now I am at this one. There's quite a lot going on here. It's probably the widest spread. So, I'll take this. I think that's all I might take off that one for right now. There's a lot of length in here. But overall, this tree's kind of in the back of this grove. If I cut it here, I'm not sure I'm going to like... Not sure I'm going to like that yet. I could make this branch the apex, but I got nothing over here yet. So I'm going to leave this like that for now. This is just rough. Kind of a rough prune. Not really accurate. Just trying to get back budding so I can make better primary branches early on. Now here, you can see that I've got this skinnier one and this thicker one, so I'm going to go ahead and take this thicker one off and leave this as an apex because it's already growing straight up. And this branch is a little too thick. So I could take that to there. Leave this leaf here. And then move on to the last one. Which is right there. So this has a significant fork right here. This first thing out of the gate is the fork. I want to encourage this little branch to grow. I want to encourage this little spot here to grow. And then I kind of have a little too much right here to take it from there. So I'm actually going to take this off here. And this one probably here. And now I have this long part here with this upper part. There's a little leaf here. So now I want to look at the thing as a whole. And this is sort of the front. This is sort of like the welcome into the grove sort of space. I like the height of this one, which would be kind of like, if this is sort of the front. This tree is still pretty tall. I may have to take that down. I think I will take this one down to this little leaf right here. You can see it. And then when I wire this, I should be able to bring these trees into nice little curvy. A lot of them have nice curvy trunks already. This one has a curve out and it comes back in. This one kind of arcs up. This one arcs up and then back towards the front, or will. This one is pretty straight, but I think I can wire that and make it a little better. And this one has a nice curve to it. It's still developing its little branches, so I'm not going to cut too much off. I'm sure it'll grow vigorously for another couple of months, and then I can take a look at it again and decide if I can do anything else to improve the branches. So the next phase for the grove and the parent tree of the grove will be wiring. Stay tuned. Okay, I am back to put some wire on the trunks of my little elm grove here. It's probably, hopefully won't take me too long because it is 87, almost 88 degrees in this studio right now, and my air conditioner does not seem to be keeping up. So this is the general front, or what I'm perceiving as the front right here. This kind of opening leading around and back. And this is like the start of these elms, and if I decide to add trees in the future to make this a more full grove, that'll be in the future. But I like this curvy branch this curvy trunk right here. I want to bring it maybe up a little bit more, this top part. This one here just needs a little bit more shaping. This one back here, again, they're tipping a little bit backwards. I want to put a little bit more bend in them, but not a crazy amount of bend. This one, I like that it reaches back, but then I want it to kind of come forward again. Almost like they're kind of cupping this grove area. And this one may be a little more of a twist, kind of coming around like that. That's what I'm hoping for it to happen. This gauge wire says it's 2.5 millimeters. It's pretty bendy, so I'm guessing it's aluminum. I'm going to start with this one. Like that. I'm going to try to push it down in near the trunk without doing too much damage. Find a way down. Okay. It's not going in as far as I'd like it to. Let's see. Where's the spot? There's got to be a deeper spot here. Think about there. There it goes. There's nothing down there to get in the way at the moment, so it's pretty easy to position the wire. I don't really want it too tight. This is like just to give the trunk some shaping. Oops, a little more bend up there. Come on, you can do it. There. I already have a nice lower bend here. That's fine. I just want to follow that. I may end up with something here because that's got a little bit of an elbow there. Let's see. Okay. Leave it like that for a moment. This next one, it's going to be right here. I don't know how well you can see it. I have this little piece of rock here that's actually labradorite, which has a nice, interesting sheen to it, and it alters color a bit. It's kind of a nice stone. I was using it to position these two trees and weight them down here in the back so that they didn't come up when I first put them in here. And I just kind of like the way they look, and now I'm leaving them. Or this rock anyway. A lot of this red lava rock will come out someday. The potting soil is so a combination of whatever I had left at the time when I decided to spontaneously take cuttings off of the plant these came from and try to just grow them straight in this, which is what I did. And it's really a loose conglomeration of several bonsai soils that are mostly non-organic material, and filling in where I didn't have enough with some aquarium gravel, and then loose pieces of lava rock just to make sure that there was good water flow and good drainage. Let's see. Did that get anchored down all the way? I always find the first bend from anchoring it is like the toughest position. And very few of my trees have been wired, unless I really had to try to position something. I mean, for the first 10 years I had bonsai, I didn't even have wire. I think I should have got it in a better bend down here. I think doing these really thin ones is kind of hard to do. But I spent many, many years not getting good trunks, and then regretting it later that I didn't do something about it, because I have nice thick trunks, but they don't have a lot going for them. As much as they could have had I tried to wire them when they were still young enough to be wired. My pomegranates, like, absolutely not. But these little elms, though, they take to just about anything. I really like the ease of dealing with this. I have no idea what kind of elm this is. I've looked it up. I still can't tell. Whatever it is, it just came by it naturally. It just, somebody's got one somewhere around here. I don't think it's like a native elm. I think it's some kind of a landscape elm, ornamental, or whatever they classify it as, but it's not American elm. As much as I'd love to have an American elm, I tried for years to take American elm cuttings and seeds and everything. I couldn't get it to grow. Couldn't get them to take. Would have been nice. It's off of a beautiful road tree that I really love. I used to drive by it all the time for work, and it just didn't work out. Something has gone wrong here. Oh, I have this. That's what. This wire is a little bit thick for this branch. Oh well, I just need it to hold the general position. Oh, did I break it? No, I don't think so. Alright. So this one can come out, around. Try to get the bends where the branches are as much as I can, but alright, let's see. I got the two on this side are done. I'm almost tempted to do the two on this side and then address the one back here. Soil is so rocky, it's hard to get. There we go. It's hard to get a good wire anchor. I'm going to wire this one this way. Oh no, stay in it. Can't wait till my other camera comes. I'm really hoping it's going to be easier to catch what I'm doing. Being a lefty, I feel like my arms are always in the way, or I may not be filming from the correct side, or my head's in the way. Let's see. Come around. Hey, let go of him. Kind of squeeze up between these couple of branches. Not the greatest looking wiring job, but like I said, it's really just trying to get the young shapes started. Oh, the wire's going twisty on me. It's getting really hard. Maybe this isn't aluminum wire after all. Stop spinning. Ugh, okay. Not pretty, but it's going to bend the tree the way I want it to. And this little one. Good little project to be doing on this particular day in the Druidic calendar anyway. Making a little grove on the first day of summer. Come on, where is it at? Oh my goodness. This one already had a pretty decent natural shape. I don't want to crush it. twist them until I feel like they're where I want them to continue on. And now just this last one at the back. Some of the gravel out of the way. He's in there pretty good. Where can the wire go in? It's right there. Okay. I have to thread this thing around just to try not to hit the other trees. Try not to squish anything. Whoops, that beef up there. Alright, I think that one is wired. Now to get it where I want it. Kind of like here. Back up this way. Let's see. I need it to come further away. And then kind of up. And back up. This way. This is the hardest one to decide where it should be going. Maybe this way a little more. Okay. That's kind of the positions that they're holding right now. I'm not worrying about wiring anything else other than to just try to get some movement into the trunk. This is my creation. Expression of Awen. The essence of inspiration. And we'll see how it grows for the rest of the summer. Thanks for watching. Come back again to Bonsai Druid.